Welcome to another episode of The Latest with Maya. Today, I am very excited to have a conversation with the amazing actor, author, and neuroscientist Mayim Bialik. I thank you so much for being on my show. I am so honored to be talking with you right now.
Well, I'm honored to be talking to you. I think you have an incredible story and I love what you do. So I'm glad to get to talk to you.
Oh, thank you. So let's get started. So, who has had the biggest impact on you professionally?
Um, Gosh, I've had kind of two different careers. I was on a TV show when I was a teenager from 14 to 19. And then I was on The Big Bang Theory, for 9 years as an adult. So as an adult, Chuck Lorre, who was the creator and executive producer, he and Bill Prady, I guess, would have the most influence on, an impact on my career. But a man named Don Rio is the person who created Blossom. And so that kind of changed my life in the first place when I was a teenager. So I'd say those two kind of groups.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. So who has had the biggest impact on you on a biggest impact on you as a person?
Wow. Um, I mean, I think, in many ways, my parents, I know it's kind of a basic answer, but, um, we know that there's a lot coded in our DNA and we're born with, different propensities, but ultimately it's the environment, that shapes us. So I guess I think of that. Because I have two kids, I'd say that, they shape me absolutely in a personal way. So I think again, like those two kind of different factions, like my parents when I was younger and then my sons as an adult.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Um, So, if you had a warning label, what would yours say?
What would yours say? Can I ask you first?
Yeah, I think it would probably be like prone to anxiety. Don't overload.
I think mine would probably be contents under pressure.
I like that.
Yeah, feels right.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, I can get like, yeah, very overwhelmed easily.
Yeah. So I
So,
guess we're kind of similar. Maybe,
yeah.
yeah, contents under pressure, prone to anxiety.
I like those. Yeah. Um, so what is the biggest obstacle you have overcome?
Um, wow. I mean, I don't have as much confidence as people assume that I have, so it's something I'm still overcoming. I'm trying to think of another obstacle. I never thought that I could be a scientist because it didn't come naturally to me. I wasn't good at it in school, like when I was younger. But through a lot of hard work and tears, I was able to kind of catch up and become a scientist, in college. So I guess that was a big obstacle.
Wow. Yeah, that's really impressive.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. So, of all that you have accomplished so far, is there something you are most proud of?
Do you mean like professionally or personally or either?
Either. Yeah.
Um, I think, well, it's kind of a funny one, but I have two kids. They're 16 and 19. And my second son was a home birth, like he was born at home. And I did it like on my own, except for the last like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So that's not the choice for everybody. And it was an intended home birth. Like I meant to give birth at home. It wasn't like I didn't get to the hospital. But for me, it felt like a lot of obstacles to overcome to believe that I had the confidence and the ability to do that. It was really an important event. So yeah, it's not just that he was born at home that I'm proud of. It's all the things that led up to it and the preparation and so yeah, and that's my 16-year-old.
Oh wow. Yeah. So I am pop culture obsessed and I go in state if you can't tell. And I go in stages of shows that I cannot stop watching. Is
Okay.
there a show that you are currently obsessed with?
I don't watch a lot of TV. I love Family Feud. Like I like game shows in general, but I love Family Feud, and that's kind of been my son and my like new thing for the last year or so. We watch a lot of Family Feud, but I don't have any shows that I follow otherwise. And for a lot of the years that like Friends was on, I was either like working or having kids. Like I wasn't really a TV person. So I don't really have I loved Game of Thrones. I was really into that. And but I was a little bit late to the game. Like I finally saw Breaking Bad like 6 years after it had ended. And I was like, this is a really good show. But that's kind of it. Yeah, I don't really have shows that I watch. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I just finished watching the newest season of The Lincoln Lawyer.
Oh, I've
Um,
seen ads for that.
it's so good.
I like historical fiction, but I also like true crime stuff. So I watch a lot of documentaries, but yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, true crime freaks me out.
Like there's people who like it and there's people who don't.
Yeah. Yes. There is one a new movie though that I love that is based on like it is true crime, but it's fictionalized.
Oh, what is it?
It's called Woman of the Hour.
Okay, everyone's been telling me I have to watch it. And
Yes.
it's based on a true story, right?
Yeah. Is
Yeah, I
it?
think I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so good. And I read when I heard about it, I read about the true story and I read it and I was like, okay, I feel
Crazy.
sick now. But the movie is so good.
Yeah, I've heard about it. Okay, I'm gonna watch.
Oh, cool. Hey, I would love to hear what you think about it.
I will take your recommendation, especially since it sounds like you're a real connoisseur.
Um, so what genre of movie would your life story be told as?
Um, let's see. Not a rom-com. Um, Probably some sort of artsy dramedy.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I yeah, I want my life to be both a rom-com and a musical. So yeah, that's what I
That's
want my
funny.
life to be. So
That is that's really funny. What was that movie about the woman who wakes
yeah.
up in the rom-com? It was
Oh, yeah, oh, now I can't
with
remember.
Rebel Wilson.
Yeah.
It's so good. Anyway, I really like that movie, so I can see the
Yeah.
appeal.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm obsessed with the movie The Prom on Netflix.
Okay,
Um, it's a musical, and so that's one of my favorite
got
movies.
it.
So
Okay, well maybe you
yeah.
let me be in your life movie.
Yes, I would love that. Yeah. So um what inspired you to start your podcast?
Um, I wanted to start my podcast. I mean, since I'm a scientist and I'm trained as a science communicator, I'm very interested in bringing science to a larger audience. But COVID had just started and the lockdown had just started. And I realized that I was experiencing a lot of anxiety. And, I had been in therapy, so I kind of knew like, oh, my anxiety is really spiking. But I started talking to people who didn't have like a vocabulary for what was happening. And they were like, why am I feeling like this? And why can't I sleep? And my partner Jonathan and I realized if with all the experience we have, our anxiety was so bad from not knowing what was going to happen, like what about all the people who didn't have any information? So we literally started the podcast to try and, democratize mental health so that you don't have to like pay or be able to afford a therapist or a psychiatrist to explain what's going on in your brain. And so it kind of started from there. And we just started talking to people about their anxiety and depression. And then we started talking to celebrities and experts, and people started telling their stories. And the podcast kind of grew to be about general mental wellness. But that's why we started it.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's so interesting. Yeah, I love listening to your podcast.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Um yeah, I remember at the start of the pandemic, like for me also, I know for so many people, like it was so um like anxiety got really, really bad.
Totally.
And so I remember for like the first few months of lockdown, like every single morning I'd wake
Yeah.
up and I'd have like 1 second where I felt completely calm. And
Yep.
then my brain started remembering everything going on and I'd start to panic.
Totally. It was like a
So,
nightmare. It was like really, it
yeah,
felt like a bad dream a lot of mornings. And I think
yeah,
especially what Jonathan and I, feel is important is like when people feel like they don't know who to trust for information, that's
yeah,
also anxiety provoking. Like we
yeah,
want someone to explain what's going on. So there was a lot of confusion. So we were just
yeah,
trying to kind of like cut right to things and explain to people at least what you can do for yourself, so that you
yeah,
don't get caught up in all that.
yeah, yeah. Um, yeah. So, um, what three words do you think best describe you?
Um, honest. Um, anxious. Maybe we
Yeah.
should say vigilant. I'll say
Oh,
vigilant.
yeah.
Honest, vigilant, and um, I don't know, like full of wonder, I guess.
Oh,
I know
yeah.
that's like a phrase, but whatever
Yeah.
word would be full of wonder.
Yeah. I love that.
Thank
I love
you.
those.
What are your three words?
Um, I don't even I don't know. I wanna say like I don't know, funny, creative
Mhm.
and I don't know, caring maybe. I don't know.
Nice. That's really nice.
Thank you. I always feel weird when somebody asks me that back. I'm like, I don't know.
Well, you're the interviewer. Sometimes we want to interview you.
Yeah. Um, so, what is the biggest challenge in creating content for your social media?
Wow, that's a really good question. For me, um, I try and be authentic. And what that means is like I don't always wear makeup. I don't always like do my hair. I don't say that I'm okay when I'm not. And so I think creating authentic content, which I think you know a lot about,
Yeah.
it's a challenge because like you want to entertain people or you want people to be engaged or you want people to, keep coming back and stuff. But that's a real challenge to try and also stay kind of authentic, meaning like to who I am, which is kind of like in a lot of ways just like a very normal person.
Yeah.
Not a fancy person. And yeah, I think a lot of people, and especially in the mental health space, for a lot of celebrities, it's like, here's what I figured out, and like, here's how to make your life amazing, or like, here's the pill I took that like made my hormones and my autoimmune condition go away.
Yeah.
And I don't really have that story. So I think that's a challenge is like, you're competing against a lot of content that's going to get more likes and more attention because it's got the answer. Like I don't have
Yeah.
the answer. I've got a lot of questions.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, do you ever feel pressure to create?
Yeah, I mean, I think, for me, I stepped back a bit from social media, meaning it was something that I really enjoyed. And I remember building my fan base. I did it all by myself. Like I remember I had to get to 100,000 people and I was on Big Bang Theory at the time. And it was fun. It was really fun. I'd post pictures of my cats and I'd post pictures of things. And, it was kind of a place where a lot of people came together in a positive way. But I think over time, it's taken on other aspects that I find anxiety producing,
Yeah,
like people being mean or people just like, saying things that they wouldn't say to your face, and just like it kind
yeah,
of becoming like a fighting space for a lot of people, no matter what you post. So, I think like for me, again, like the pressure, back then was like you have to get followers. And I think that once I stopped sort of being as invested in my self-worth, kind of coming from, the feedback, I think that helped a lot. I used to be one of those people who was like constantly checking and reading comments and getting upset, and like it really wasn't healthy for me. So I'm grateful that I have, people who I get to work with who help me post things and do it so that I don't get overwhelmed or sad or mad by comments.
yeah,
And I think it's an important tool. I think it's a really important way for people to be able to come together. But there's a lot that I see on social media that is you know really like kind of harmful and hurtful. And there's a lot of things there. People say a lot of anti-Semitic things, people say racist things, people say homophobic things. And like for me, that just doesn't feel like a happy, kind of place for us as a society to meet. So there's a lot of pressure, I guess, involved in that answer.
yeah. Yeah, I've definitely had to work on with like maybe getting like a not very nice comment, not letting that get to me.
Totally.
And like I don't know, focusing on, there's so many other people that write super supportive
I
things and to not focus on that one person.
totally. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So that I definitely get that. That has been a bit of a struggle for me too.
Yep.
Yeah. Um, so what is something people are always surprised to learn about you?
People are surprised when I say that I don't feel very confident a lot of the time. I have a lot of opinions and I definitely speak my mind, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I feel confident about doing it all the time. And people seem to be surprised. There's certain things that I feel like confident about, like I'm a good baker and like, I can, um, yeah, but people tend to be surprised when I say that.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. So what small things bring you joy on a daily basis?
My cats bring me joy on a daily basis. I have three cats. I'm looking at two of them right now. And two of the cats stayed small. Like they never got full cat size, even though they're grown-ups. So it's kind of fun. We have two small cats, but they're grown-ups. Um, my my kids, my older son's just started college, but my younger one still lives at home, and I'd say that there's joy, from our interactions every day. And I'm trying to think what else. I like meditating. I've found a way that doesn't make my brain kind of spin. And I actually really look forward to it. I do it like before bed and I try and do it when I wake up. And it's just like a couple minutes of quiet. And I've started to really have joy in that.
Wow. I love that. Yeah. I don't know, there's been some people in my life who have suggested to me to try meditating. And
Yeah.
I tried it a couple times and I was just like, I can't do this. I can't do the quiet and just sitting
Well,
here.
So it's funny because we just had a guest on our podcast who talked about that different brains need different kinds of meditation, and that a lot of us think that like we're supposed to like sit in silence, and that actually doesn't work for everybody. So maybe you could try again with a different kind of meditation. Like there's guided meditations where you're talked through an exercise, so it's kind of like fun. It's like a journey in your head. So anyway, that's just my unsolicited suggestion.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Um,
Yeah. Um, yeah. So is there someone who, without fail, always makes you laugh?
um, I'm trying to think. I mean, my partner, Jonathan, but sometimes I don't feel like laughing when he says things. Um, I'm trying to think. I mean, I'm very grateful. I have a lot of funny people in my life. My mom's very funny, sometimes in ways that she doesn't think are funny, but they are.
I love that. Yeah, that's my mom too. She's sometimes not intentionally trying to be funny, but yeah. Yeah, my mom and my sister never fail to make me laugh.
Nice.
And yeah, and then my best friend who I feel the like same way there's some things he says that I'm like I'm not gonna laugh at this. This is just not this is just kind of dumb, but then I end up laughing. So
Good. It's important to have friends like that.
yeah, it is. Yeah, I always joke with him. I'm like, I don't want to give you the validation of laughing at this joke. So, but then I end up laughing. So,
It's validation.
yeah. Um, do you have a show or movie that you find yourself quoting more often than you would like?
Um, that's a funny question. I mean, my favorite movie is Gladiator. I think I know the most words to Gladiator, and th those things are usually not helpful in everyday life to say things like from Gladiator. But yeah, I think that's probably the only one. Like I said, I don't watch a lot of TV. Yeah.
You just cut out a little bit.
Oh, sorry. It must have been my
Oh,
AirPod.
it's
Hold on.
okay.
Sure, it doesn't want to connect. No, I just said that like Gladiator's not a very helpful movie to quote things from, and since I don't watch a lot of TV, I guess I don't know.
Yeah, I think my brain is just filled with constant like movie and show
Yeah.
quotes and scenes to reference that
Well, it
that's
sounds
pretty
like you have a
much
good memory for
all I
that.
do.
I don't have a great memory for that. Like some people can like remember a lot of things. Like my sons love Will Ferrell movies, and so like we watch Anchorman and stuff, and like so sometimes they'll remember things. I'm like, I didn't remember that at all.
Oh, yeah.
But you must have a good memory for that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I don't have a great memory when it comes to other things, but when it comes
It's
to
because
like
your head is all full of TV shows and cool quotes
yeah,
from movies.
yeah, it's yeah, filled with just pop culture stuff. So yeah. Yeah, my best friend watches a ton of movies, but not a ton of TV shows. So whenever I talk and it's usually the movies he watches I've never heard of or never seen.
Got it.
So we always like I never know what he's talking about, and he never knows what I'm talking about um, when we're talking about different shows and movies. So he never understands any of the references I make.
Funny.
So yeah, so it's very entertaining. Yeah. Yeah, so do you have I know you said you don't watch a ton of
hmm
TV, but do you have like a go-to comfort movie or show if you ever do wanna watch?
Um, I really don't. I'm not wired that way. Um, Yeah, I mean, I like documentaries. Like I watched the recent one on Netflix about mermaids, and I've watched that one twice because I love it so much. Um, yeah, I don't really have a go-to like that. Like I had a friend of mine say that like when her son moved to college, she's like, I binged all of Gilmore Girls, and like I don't have shows like that I watch. So yeah, I'm not really good in this department.
Yeah, I have a ton of comfort shows and movies, and Gilmore Girls is one of
Is
them.
that
So
one of them? I'm missing
yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I just like constantly rotate between a list. So um, I love inspiring and motivational quotes. And this week, my favorite quotation is love yourself today, right now, and make it unconditional and magical and like the greatest love you've ever had the honor of being a part of.
Wow.
Um, is there a quotation that has inspired you lately?
Um, yeah, there's a quote. Can I pull it up?
Yes.
Okay, because I don't want to get it wrong. One second. See if I can pull it up. It is, okay, hold on. Um, hold on. Actually, I have it because I keep it like I cut it out, but I don't have it here. Um, okay, let me see if I can find it one
Okay.
second. Um, see if I can pull it up using Google. Okay, great. It's kind of a funny quote in that it's Marcus Aurelius. Like I didn't know that it was his quote, but the quote is the first rule is to keep an untroubled spirit. And the second is to look things in the face and know them for what they are. And I really like that because like when you think of being like if I'm upset about something, like the first thing I need to remember is to try not to be overly upset about it, meaning like not let my spirit get all, upset, but also be able to understand what I'm looking at. And if there is something that is troubling, that I can still address that head on.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love that one. Yeah. That was my final question for you.
Oh, well,
Um,
thank you. It's been so nice talking to you.
Thank you. I have just had the best time talking with you. You've made my day. So,
Oh, thank you. Well, I know we had to reschedule it, and like I really appreciate you being patient, and I'm glad we finally got to
of
connect.
course, me too. Yeah, I have been so excited for this and so excited to talk with you. So, thank you so much.
Of course, my pleasure.
Yeah, and yeah, I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, you too.
Thank you. And that's a wrap on today's edition of The Latest with Maya.